Hey everyone, we are back again for another Dokkan Battle video. So I did actually want to make a video talking about the BULMA fight, which if you didn't know, is currently the toughest fight we have on Global. It is, I definitely think, harder than the Gogeta fight. I think it is tougher than the Super Janemba fight we have. I think it's tougher than Cell Max or Blue Kai Ken and Evolution Blue. Because BULMA, like you could be derogatory and use the term gimmick fight here. You could. I wouldn't. BULMA is just a very difficult fight. I don't view it as, oh, it's a gimmick fight. Doesn't really matter. I'm not really of that opinion. My opinion is it's really hard. So it's the hardest fight we have access to until Goku and Frieza drops, which is soon. So we'll have to tackle probably a video on Goku and Frieza in the near future. But let's talk about BULMA and why this fight is so difficult. So BULMA's first phase here. Let's go over her phases. So her first phase, 50 million HP, you're not killing her, alright? Like, that's not that much HP, but the way it works is you're just not killing this BULMA. She's got a million defense. She guaranteed seals all of your units. Just straight away. That's just what she does. She just seals all your units, so that's really fun. 100% of the time. She's a weapon super, it's 500,000 damage, 200,000 normals, 7 attacks per turn. Like, this is not scary. Like, none of these numbers are scary whatsoever to any, like, semi-decent unit. This is nothing. The problem with BULMA, this BULMA phase, is the only way to beat her is within 2 turns. You have to collect 12 rainbow key spheres. Gotta get 12. If you don't get 12, automatically lose. You're going straight to the game over screen. They don't care. So, keep that in mind. Need 12 rainbow orbs. So rainbow orb changers are essential for victory. Essential. Now, you might see this huge amount of tabs I've opened. These are all different units I think are some of the best units to go in to the BULMA fight. For various reasons. Like, we'll go over all of them. All of them bring something valuable to the table. So, now there's definitely a bunch more you could bring that I'm probably not going to mention here, but I already have a bunch of tabs, so we're going to go through all of these guys today. Don't know how long this video will be. I've been kind of not dreading to make this video, but putting it off for a little bit just because I knew, knowing myself, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk for a very long time. Luckily, I have a nice 2-liter bottle of water beside me, so we can sit here and I can just drink some water and we can talk about this. But yeah, BULMA's first phase. Not that scary, but you do need 12 rainbow orbs, which means you need to bring rainbow orb changers. So if you're running a double lead, of, let's say, who's a leader who's not a rainbow orb changer? Tech Vegeta. If you're rocking like double Tech Vegeta, who I think could be good in here. I don't think he's amazing in here, but I think he's good. If you're bringing double Tech Vegeta in here, he's not a rainbow orb changer. So you need to make sure you're probably bringing at least 2 rainbow orb changers on the team. Now, luckily, Vegeta has a great leader skill of Super Saiyans and Vegeta family, so he has access to actually a bunch of the units on this list, who I think could be very good for this fight, and some rainbow orb changers. I would probably recommend at least 2 rainbow orb changers on a team that you're bringing into the BULMA fight. Probably 2 rainbow orb changers is what I would say. Could you bring more? For sure. For sure. The more the merrier, really, but at least 2. Okay, so that's the first phase kind of discussed. Phase 2. Now, it's technically the 3 phases, but it's all the same because she resets, right? So, what this phase does, again, 50 million health, 450,000 normal, still zero, basically nothing. She does have a 90% reduction here, a million defense. She raises her attack by 30% and has a 1.1 million super, which means her actual super is something like, what, 1.3, 1.4, something like that? Sure. It's not the scariest either, like, that's still baby numbers. Like, that's a little bit harder than, like, Infusion Zamasu turn 1, so, you know. It is what it is. Now, the thing with this BULMA phase, though, is she will start by lowering the whole rotation's key by 9. So, yeah, you're down 9 key to begin with, which can be pretty tough. Now, a lot of units can get around this if they just have really good key mechanics, which, again, a lot of the units I have in this list do. A lot of them. So, not all of them, but most of them have very good key mechanics to get around this. So, the way this phase works is you have to super 4 times. Yeah. So, if your whole rotation does not super at least 4 times, you auto-lose. And you have to do this 3 times against each of these BULMAs. Each of them. You have to do 4 supers per turn, otherwise you automatically lose. So it's a very fun and very fair mechanic, right? So yeah, so units you want are units that can do additionals. Now, preferably, you want units who can do guaranteed additional super attacks, you know? Not just additional normal. Like, a unit I thought about putting on this list but didn't was like AGL Frieza, the first one Frieza, because he does do a bunch of additionals. Now, they're 50-50s, I believe, so if he's just going to do additional normal, additional normal, additional normal, you're going to die. You're just going to auto-lose. That's what's going to happen. Now, he also could just like quad super and then you'd be good. So, it is what it is. Now, a lot of units these days have like built-in like 70% chances or whatever, so that can be helpful, but if you fail them, you get unlucky, you might get screwed. So, yeah. Now, yeah, what you need to do is you have to super 4 times per turn. So, units with guaranteed additionals, a lot of these units here do have guaranteed additionals, or like 70% chances. A lot of them here. So, keep that in mind. A lot of the units here are very good for this. Okay, again, you have to do it 3 times, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, next you fight Tech BULMA here. Tech BULMA is still not a real boss. Now, her normals are real, like 770,000 normals. Like, they're actual normals, right? They're not, like, the scariest thing you've ever seen. Because, like, you know, Cell Max is starting with, like, 1 million, like, super attack normals. And, what else? Cell Max is, like, 1 million. The blue can Evolution Blue are, I think, like, 800k or something. But they get the attack raise and can double super. So, it's kind of different. Gogeta, I don't know how hard Gogeta's normals are, actually. Or Janemba's. I'm actually not sure. But they're definitely over 770k. So, yeah. Anyways, Bulma's super attack is now 1.9 million, which is still nothing too scary. Now, she does get a 10% attack buff, so she's actually at like 2.1, 2.2. Something like that. So, a 2 million super is an actual super attack, but remember, these are all phases. So, this is 2 turns, unless you get all 12 Rainbow Orbs turn 1. So, that's 2 turns. This is 1 turn. This is 1 turn, and this is 1 turn. So that's what? That's 5 turns. So the earliest you can get the Tech Bulma is towards, 5 at the very earliest. But usually, like, turn 6. Okay, so turn 6, you're fighting Tech Bulma. For turn 6, a 2 million super is not that scary. Like, turn 1, it could be, potentially, against weaker units who need to build up. But, because this is an event you can actually build up a bit in. You know, like, Tech Vegeta is not a bad unit for this fight because he can build up a little bit. Now, it's not guaranteed for Tech Vegeta because, remember, this first phase guaranteed seals you. So, no super attacking turn 1 for Vegeta, where he has his guaranteed additional supers. So, that's annoying, but you guys get it. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, Tech Bulma here. Tech Bulma, again, not the super scary part. It's the next phase that matters. So, how does Tech Bulma work? Basically, she's just a regular boss. She doesn't do anything particular scary. Now, how she works, though, her gimmick here, is the killing blow. Depending on how much damage you deal on the killing blow, will decide if you get the next phase being Physical Bulma, who we'll talk about soon, or STR Bulma, who's even scarier. So, yeah, it's all depending on the last hit, the finishing blow on Tech Bulma right here. So, Tech Bulma, I am actually unsure of what the damage threshold to get Physical Bulma is. I don't know. I have gotten Physical Bulma a couple of times because I would do like an additional normal, like at the end of a flurry of attacks, and that would kill her, and we'd go into Physical Bulma. That has happened. Also, I've had times where it just, it doesn't happen at all. And, like, I'll just blast her, and then we just go straight into STR Bulma, the scarier part of the fight. So, I'm not sure how much the damage threshold is. I think it's around 2 to 3 million damage. I think. Based on what I've seen. I don't know the exact number. If I was to give it a guess, I'd say it's about 2.5 million. But I don't know. Because I know above 3 million is definitely STR Bulma territory. So, it must be less than 3 million. Yeah. Now, let's talk about Physical Bulma first here. Physical Bulma has 130 million health, which is, you know, a lot. She's got 800k normals, which is, you know, solid. She gets a 10% attack buff on super. She has a 2 million super, 7 cooldown, 7 attacks per turn. Now, BULMA now has a passive. So 50% attack with each turn passed up to 100%, and 50% defense with each turn passed up to 100%. So these are like flat 50% buffs, I believe. So she gets this right away, this 50%. So instead of a 2 million super, I'm pretty sure BULMA supers for 3 million. I'm pretty sure this BULMA actually has like 1.6 million normals and like a 3 million super. I'm pretty sure. Turn 1 against physical BULMA. Yeah. And then on her second turn, remember, she's getting another 50%, which means, or no, 1.6, sorry. It would be 1.2. On her second turn, there'll be 1.6 million normals. And then this is a 4 million super on her second turn of physical BULMA, which is obviously a lot. You know, I would not discredit a 4 million super. That's a big boy super. I mean, 3 million is a big boy super. So 4 million for sure. We are respecting a 4 million super attack. Now, why is STR BULMA just the demon? Okay, so 880,000 attack. She's got an extra 50 million health than physical BULMA does. An extra 500,000 defense as well. So, yeah. She also has a 2.2 million super. Not 2. And she gets 100% straight away. So that means BULMA is literally doubling what you see. Like, BULMA turn 1 of STR BULMA is doing a 4.4 million super. Like, out the gate. Plus this 10%. So it's actually a little bit higher than that. So, yeah, that's a 4.4 million super. And her defense is like 2 million. Now, her defense is not the biggest deal because 63% reduction isn't actually that much. But the cracker defense, what do you need to do, guys? You need to crit. Crits are how you destroy her. So, keep that in mind. On her second turn, though, BULMA is actually launching like a 6 million super. Like 6.6 million. Like, for real. Like, no joke, like 6 million. Like, they really thought, they're like, you know what? What if BULMA does like a 6.5 million super on her second turn, STR BULMA? Yeah, sure. Her normals, by the way, are like over 2 million on her second turn. Because, remember, it's 100% buff. So this is like 1.76. And then it gets it up again. So her normals are like 2.4 million. She's doing like 2.4 million normals and doing like a 6.6 million super. That's what we're dealing with STR BULMA. She is an absolute demon. Like, when you get to the 6 million damage level, units don't live that. Units do not survive 6 million supers. There's very few units that can survive a 6 million super. In fact, on this list, in terms of tanking, I think there's only 1 unit on this list here. No, maybe 2. There might be 2 units on this list who can tank this super off the top of my brain. Maybe there's someone else I'm missing that I'm not seeing up here, but I think it's only 2 units who can tank that 6 million super. Now, the one saving grace about fighting BULMA this entire way through is she can be debuffed the whole way through by everything. Attack debuff, defensive debuff, stunned, sealed. All of it. BULMA can be inflicted by it all. Now, that might have you say, oh, it's not that hard. I'll just stun her. Sure, you could. But what if BULMA attacks first? And she just fires that super straight away. What happens then? You instantly die, is what happens. Instant death. 0 counterplay, nothing you could do. She just kills you. You might have a unit like... Who's a stunning unit? Who's a unit who stuns? I don't know why I'd bring him into this fight, but the first unit that came to my mind was like that tech, like Super Saiyan Metal Cooler movie Vegeta. You know the one I'm talking about? He stuns. Like him. Like, sure, he can stun on super attack, but what if BULMA attacks first? You lose. She just kills you, dude. So, yeah. It's not as easy as, oh, I'll just stun her. Now, you could get lucky with someone like STR EZA Jiren, actually, has a medium chance to stun at the start of turn. If that procs, like at the right time, sure, it could happen. He could do it, right? So, you know, let's not rule out the impossibility here. I'm just going to say it's very unlikely. Now, let's actually get into the units I think can actually really help in this fight. Let's have a look. Okay, we're going to... Now, this is not ordered. This is not the top, like, however many units I have here. I think it's 12 I have here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. Okay, this isn't like, oh, these are the top 13 best units in the game for this fight, in particular order or anything. No. These are just 13 units I think can do very well in this fight. And there's definitely more, so if you want to leave some in the comments, go ahead. Let me know who I forgot. I just think these particular 13 units do very well in here for different reasons, as you'll see. So let's start back here. Angel Super Saiyan 3. Angel Super Saiyan 3 is, I think, pretty disrespected, actually, by a lot of the Dokkan community, at least from what I see, because no one talks about him, and not in a case of like, oh, like when Tech Vegeta came out, no one's talking about Tech Vegeta, because everyone just agrees he's really good. This is different. This is, no one talks about this guy as one of the best TURs. Like, now, I do not think he is the best overall TUR anymore, because I think Super Easy Beerus is the best overall TUR. But I do think that this Goku is the best Dokkan Fest TUR we have. I don't think there's a better TUR than him. Better Dokkan Fest TUR. Like, standard Dokkan Fest TUR. No Easy A. I think he is number 1. Okay, sorry, chat. Had to drink some water. I've been talking for a bit. Okay, so why is Goku so good? Like, well, we know why Goku's good, but why is he particularly good for Bulma? Okay, let's go over it. Now, he has a very good leader skill, which maybe a lot of people won't mention in why he's good for Bulma, but he has a very good leader skill for this fight. Buu Saga, Otherworld Warriors, Accelerated Battle. Now, you could argue, oh, well, he has this Buu Saga condition, where he needs the extra defense and the guard and stuff, if he wants to be like, you know, God tier and slot 1. That is true, but Goku's, like, defensive, like, utility, which why he's so good most of the time, isn't actually a huge factor in this fight, because the first part of this fight does not hit hard whatsoever. And this is not a fight that you can blitz, that Goku will have most of his damage reduction up. Where is it? Right here. This is not a fight where you will have most of this, or some of it up by the end of it, by the time you get to Esther Bulma. It will be gone by that point, for sure. He will just not have this level of reduction anymore. So you do have to keep that in mind, okay? You're not going to have this. So the Buu Saga ally restriction, I actually don't think is the biggest deal. Now, obviously you still want to bring one, at least. Like, either a friend one or another unit on this list that we'll get to. But, yeah, I don't think that's the big deal. The reason this leader skill, though, is so good is because it has a lot of really good other units on this list for this fight. Tech Gogeta is on Otherworld Warriors. He is a Rainbow Orb Changer. He has additionals. He's very good for that. We have STR Carnival Gohan. He is a unit with a bunch of additionals. He is a unit who can stun. He is a unit who can actually, if you have him rainbowed, can actually one-shot Bulma. Well, not one-shot her, but basically one-shot her, even her final phase, if you charge up the family Kamehameha enough. I do have a video of him versus the Bulma fight coming relatively soon, and you guys will see. I have a bunch of showcases in the Bulma fight coming, so be excited for that. But yeah, that's something to consider. But why is Goku so good? One, he's AGL. And remember, STR Bulma, again, most of the time, you're going to be fighting her. Probably. If you fight her, great. You have a much higher chance of winning. But if you're fighting this one, Goku has type advantage. And he has a high chance to stun. This right here. High chance to stun with, where is it? Right here. Right here. Additionals. He has multiple chances to stun Bulma. And he has a great leader skill. And there's units who can go slot 1 for him later in the fight. Like a unit we'll get onto in this list. I won't bring them up yet, but you probably have guessed who that unit is. That can go slot 1 for Goku. So, this guy, very good for the Bulma fight. He has a lot of utility, got a good lot of tools he can use to kind of stun her, keep her kind of under lock. He's got additionals for the first phase, or the second phase, and then he has the stunning for like the later phases. You can actually stun her earlier phases, but that's not a huge deal if you stun her or not. Because her debuffs reset, like in, which phase, sorry. This one here. Like they reset every turn. So if you stun her in this phase, like you'll just go to the next turn and she won't be stunned anymore. So it doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, that's why I think Goku is a very good unit for this fight. But let's move on to the next unit. The next unit we have on the list is Fat Buu. Fat Boo has a decent leader skill for this. Not the best, like it's fine. Like Boo Saga again, some good units here, sworn enemies, story figures. Now, I probably wouldn't run double Fat Boo as a lead in here. I mean, you could, but I think I'd probably run him on like Uncontrollable Power on Interbroly's team, I would say. But why is Fat Boo good? Okay, couple of reasons. Fat Boo has an additional. There's a 70% chance to be a super. Now, obviously, it could fail, but having a built-in additional is good. Okay, straight away. That is valuable. He has a revive. A revive is a big deal for surviving STR Bulma or physical Bulma, whichever one you're fighting. It's a big deal back there, for sure. Now, the revive will do you no good in the beginning. It will do nothing. Like, if you have, like, the revive up against, like... I've had this actually happen with AGL UI Goku in a run. I'm not sure if that video will be uploaded or not by the time this goes up, or if I even upload it at all. But I do actually have a death against Int Bulma here with AGL UI Goku, and he revived us. But because we didn't do this enough supers, we actually lost anyway. He revived into a game over screen. So yeah, that kind of sucked. So this is great for later in the fight. At the beginning, nothing. Like Fat Boo, you toss his ass in slot 1 against STR Bulma, he's just getting one shot. And that's great. That's what you want. Because you buy her the free turn right there, and then you get the Ghost Usher turn as well. Like, remember, Boo has the Ghost Usher, he's got the Revive, he's got tools here to deal with Bulma. Because that Ghost Usher turn could literally, like, get you the win. Because he's buying you some time to not, like, die. So, it's a pretty big deal, for sure. I definitely think Fat Boo is a good unit for this. Plus the additional. Now, it would be really great if Fat Boo had like a debuff or like a stun or a seal, but he doesn't. But I think he's bringing enough value with the revive, the additional, and the Ghost Usher that he can be considered very good for this fight, for sure. Okay. Next unit is actually this guy who EZA'd during the 8th anniversary. Spirit Bombs over Goku. Why is Spirit Bombs over Goku very good? Couple of reasons. This super attack effect is maybe the best super attack effect in the game for the Bulma fight right here. Lowers attack and defense and seals. Like, this is huge. This part here. Guaranteed seal and 20% debuff. He's also AGL, which again is a big deal right now. Typing matters in these tough fights nowadays. It really does. So this guy here being AGL means he could probably tank 1, maybe 2 normals from Bulma. At this point, you do want to be full dodge, obviously. And hopefully there's not that many attacks in this Goku. But yeah, he's not really in danger. Like, this Goku is pretty squishy. But like, this Bulma's not killing him. This Bulma's not killing him. This Bulma could. So you have to be a bit careful here. But if you can, like, survive, you'll be okay. If you can get through here, you'll be fine. Because he's a killer for these 2 phases. This guy right here. But yeah, the sealing. Plus, right here. Orb changing. He's a debuffer with Rainbow Orb changing. On relevant teams. Like, look at this. Let's pull up his 200% leader skills. He is on this team, which is a very good team for the Bulma fight. This team, a very good team for the Bulma fight. I don't think I'd run double of you against him. You could run Tech Vegeta for sure. I think these 3 are probably the 3 teams you'd want to run. Could you get away with double Bardock? Maybe you could, huh? Double Bardock. That might be a good video. Maybe I'll try that. Double Bardock versus Bulma. I don't know about all that, but he does seal, doesn't he? And he's Rainbow Orb changing at the start? Maybe. We could try that. That could be a good long video right there. If people want to watch me suffer for like 5 hours or something, we could do that. But yeah, I think these 3 right here. This guy is on the team. Again, Rainbow Orb changing, debuffing. This is a very good unit for the fight. Not much more needs to be said. Okay, next unit. These guys. Blue Kaioken and Evolution Blue. Really good for the fight as well. I'm not sure if you guys need me to explain why, but in case you do, I'll do it for you. Don't worry. Both their super attacks, debuff. Huge. 50% or 30% debuffs on the 18 key and 20% debuffs on the 12 key. Rainbow Orb Changer, if there's a superhero ally. Super easy condition. Beast Gohan, Blue Gogeta, AGL UI Goku, Tech UI Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like the Gammas. Who else would you bring in that fight? Like the Gammas are good in that fight too. My brain is kind of fried. I'm kind of just home from work. Who else is a good superhero unit that you would bring into this fight? There's someone else, right? You guys know how. There's someone I'm missing, surely. Maybe they'll pop up here. Superhero unit. Not them. Not you either. Okay, I can't think of someone, but I'm sure there's more. But yeah. Anyway, point is, there are very good units for this fight because they are rainbow orb changing. They get you through their super annoying rainbow orb changing phase. They have additionals. Now, they're only high chances, right? But they can launch up to like 5 attacks per turn if they get 3 rainbow key spheres because the first super attack, they're additional through the rainbow key spheres, the 3 of them, and then hidden potential. So they could super 5 times. They can't clear that by themselves, like that in the BULMA turn. They can do it by themselves if you get good luck. And because you have so many chances at it, I think they are worth mentioning here. Blue Kaioken and Evolution Blue, really good. Now, you do have to be careful because what typing are they? I just said, being AGL right now is really good for that BULMA phase. They're physical. So they are at a huge risk against STR BULMA. Huge risk. So make sure you got a revive on that rotation, or like a taunt skill, or they're not being targeted at all, or maybe you have someone in the turn who can stun them, and hopefully they can do that first. That's the type of stuff you need to go your way in this fight. Again, the fight is a super RNG fest, so you got to be careful with it. But they can do stuff for sure. This unit, very good. Okay, next unit, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now I could have brought UI Goku too. I could have, AGL. But I actually think Vegeta might be better for this fight than AGL UI Goku. Maybe. I think AGL UI in general is a better unit, but Vegeta for this fight, I might actually prefer. Even though Goku is actually AGL, right? So he does do the big damage and stuff, but yeah. And the guaranteed dodge, and he has revive too. But the reason I maybe put Vegeta above Goku for this particular fight is his revive condition. This revive condition, 5 hits, in the BULMA fight, you are going to see every time. Every single time you will see this, without fail. Because BULMA actually attacks a lot. Like, every phase, she attacks 7 times. So, and you have a lot of turns before you get to the scary part. So, unless you're floating Evolution Blue Vegeta for some reason, you should have his revive up. Now, Vegeta also has this, guaranteed additional. That's a 77% chance to be a super. That is the way you want it written, right? Because AGL UI Goku has a guaranteed additional. Sorry, no. AGL UI Goku has an additional that has a 77% chance to be a super. So if the super does not proc, he does not get the attack whatsoever. Which means there's a pretty solid chance he's not going to get the hidden potential system. Vegeta, on the other hand, will always launch an attack. Always. That has a 77% chance to be a super. Which means he's always attacking at least twice. Which also, by the way, means that he has a pretty good chance to proc the hidden potential system as well. So Vegeta can very easily do 3 supers per turn. Also, something to consider. Vegeta has this active skill. This active skill damage, not going to do a whole lot against the final phase. But what it does count as is as a super attack. So if you are scared that you are not going to be able to do the 4 supers in that turn, you can pop Vegeta's active skill, which you can do on turn 4. Now remember, you have 3 turns of this phase. 1, 2, 3. This will be turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. Unless you get you do this in 1 turn. Unless you get the 12 rainbow orbs in 1 turn. So this is turn 3, this is turn 4, this is turn 5. Which means, for those turns, you have access to Vegeta's active skill, which will count as a super. Because you pop this, remember he'll give himself ki, because Vegeta gets ki when attacking. Also, he gets ki when attacking, by the way, not super attacking. Which means even during the first phase, when he's sealed, as long as he attacks, he is going to be building up his ki. Which means he should not struggle for ki. That 9 ki debuff from Int BULMA shouldn't really affect Vegeta whatsoever. So I think Vegeta is very good for this. Very good for this. Now, AGL UI Goku has to dodge to build up his ki as well. Which, I I just said it's easy enough to get Vegeta's hits. It is also easy enough to get UI Goku his ki, but Goku I find a little bit more unreliable because it's like, oh, well, UI Goku, you might think, oh, UI Goku doesn't need to actually get his hits in or whatever. Or his dodges in early because it's not that scary. You don't need his like extra ki or whatever, which is true because you might want to build up other units, or maybe you're running Vegeta and Goku together, and which you should prioritize Vegeta for this particularly. But anyways, enough about Vegeta. He's very good for this fight. Would definitely suggest Vegeta if you have him. Okay, Tech Gogeta, I think is probably the second best unit in the game for this fight. Probably. I think I'd rank him number 2. I know I'm not actually ranking them by numbers, but if I was to, I think I'd have Tech Gogeta at number 2. I do think so. So, why? Why do I think Tech Gogeta is the second best unit in the game for this fight? I will tell you. Gogeta, right here. Where is it? Rainbow Orb changing. He orb changes. Huge already. And also, he has a guaranteed additional, has a 70% chance to be a super. But he also has this, which is a guaranteed additional super if he gets a Rainbow Key Sphere. So you get 1 Rainbow Key Sphere, which you need for the first phase, and then you also get this for the second phase. So Gogeta will always be double supering, always, and will likely be triple supering. And if you have dupes, hidden potential could proc, quad super. You got this. Bulma, she wants you to do, I need you to do like 20 supers or whatever. Well, don't worry. This guy can do them. And then, remember when I said I think there's only like 2 units in the game who could tank like STR Bulma's 6 million super? This guy is one of them. He is one of them. Tech Gogeta right here. Tech Gogeta is going to give you the Scouter at the later part of the fight. The Scouter at the early part does not matter. Like, Scouter is irrelevant. Right here. Does not matter. Does not matter. Doesn't matter. Matters. Right here. In the tough part of the fight. Like, there's no need to go into Tech, like, fuse into Tech Gogeta here during the end Bulma phase. No need. Pointless. You're wasting him. You could do it here, depending on, and you will want Tech Gogeta out by here. Now, his fusion condition is pretty easy for the most part. Plus, you'll most likely be pairing this guy with another unit who I think is actually the best unit in the game for this fight, which we'll get to pretty shortly. He's coming up in like 2 or 3, I think. 2 or 3 spots, but yeah. What does Tech Gogeta? Why is he so good? He's got the Scouter. He's got the guaranteed crits, by the way. Remember, STR Bulma has huge defense. You want to cut through it? Guaranteed crits. Pretty good, right there. Same, I forgot to mention that for Evolution Blue Vegeta, but Vegeta also is guaranteed critting at 24 ki. So, plus Vegeta, again, he's revived, Anyway, we talked enough about Vegeta. Going back to Gogeta here. Remember, guaranteed crits, where's the rest of it? He's still Rainbow Orb changing, which at this point doesn't really matter. You don't need the Rainbow Orbs this late in the fight. But this right here. Guaranteed additional super, guard with a Rainbow Key Sphere, plus this. Plus an additional 40% reduction, and forces enemy supers attacking for 5 turns. So he's got the Scouter, and before he attacks, 80% damage reduction and guard with a Rainbow Key Sphere. If Bulma decides to fire off that super right away, this guy is going to live. With his 80% damage reduction and guard, he will tank it. He will. Especially if he has this up as well. He will deal with it. Remember, he's also debuffing, by the way. Pretty good. But not only that, he's got a high chance to dodge the super as well. Gogeta, I think, again, is the second best unit in the game for this fight. He is amazing. He's going to get his own video in the fight as well of this guy versus Bulma. We'll definitely do that soon. I have some of them recorded already, but I don't think his is done yet. So we'll get to him soon, though, for sure. Tech Gogeta is God tier, though. Okay, Omega Shenron. Maybe if you guys have been understanding the Bulma fight and you've maybe watched videos already on the Bulma fight, then you will actually know that Omega Shenron is unironically one of the best units in the game for this fight. I would maybe rank him like 3rd. 3rd or like 4th best unit in the game for this entire fight, probably. Now, why? His 12 ki lowers attack, 50% chance to stun right there. Pretty good. His 18 ki lowers attack, guaranteed seal. What typing is Omega? He's AGL, by the way. What else does he do? Oh, he Rainbow Orb changes. He's a Rainbow Orb changer. He's a debuffer, like off the bat, just always debuffing. He has a revive as well. And he has an active skill, which remember, the active skill will count as a super attack during the Int BULMA phase. Yeah. Also, he debuffs on the active skill, right here. He's a debuffer. He also has an attack break. Attack break, debuffing here, debuff right here. He's Rainbow Orb changing for the beginning of the fight. He has the revive. He can stun. He can seal. Omega just does it all. He can really shut down BULMA. He really can. Now, what you might say, well, Reese, what team would you bring him on? Like, he needs GT bosses. Sure. You could say he needs GT bosses, or you could just say, fuck that. You could just say, fuck that. I'm not bringing the GT bosses. And just bring him on like a 170 or whatever on some other team. And just use him as a floater and then as a debuffer. I think that would work super effectively. It really would. So, that's what I'm saying. I think he's great for this. Now, what teams could you bring him on? Let's have a look. GT Bosses is dead. Shadow Dragon Saga, yeah, lol. Full Power, what team is that? That's DBS Broly right there. DBS Broly is on this list. We'll get to him shortly. He's very good for this. Inhuman Deeds, whose leader skill is that? That is Lord Slug, who I think could actually be quite good in here. Who else is good? Also AGL Vegeta. AGL Scouter Vegeta, by the way. Who I think could also do pretty decent. Battle of Fate isn't relevant right now. Power Absorption, not right now. Transformation Boost is also DBS Broly. Powerful Comeback. Not super relevant at the moment, but I mean, you could rock double into Evolution Blue Vegeta and probably win, huh? Probably could. But yeah. Omega just has a lot of tools. In fact, Omega probably has the most tools for this fight. Probably. Just with all the debuffing and stuff. He's a great option. That you can just kind of toss on the team and just let this guy go to work. Because he can do it. He really can. I think Omega's great. Okay, next is Gogeta. Blue Gogeta. He is actually my pick for the #1 unit in the game for this fight. I think it's probably this guy. Probably. Now, you might say, why? Okay, couple reasons. One of the best teams in the game for this fight. Movie heroes. Double Gogeta, double Rainbow Orb Changer. You can also bring Tech Gogeta on that team. And another unit. In fact, the next unit on this list. I think? Yeah, it's him. It's Beast. I'll spoil it, but it's Beast. Beast is on this list too. Gogeta. You can bring a bunch of the best units in the game. Also, Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku is on this leader skill as well. Now, his super attack effects, not really anything special. In blue or in base. Or in Super Saiyan, I should say. For this fight, not really super relevant. Not a huge deal. Why is he big for this fight, though? Where is it? Right here. Rainbow Orb changing, straight away. He has a 70% chance to launch a super attack and a guaranteed additional super with a Rainbow Key Sphere. So Gogeta can very easily triple or quad super. Even at 55%. Very easily. Gogeta can do a bunch of supers for you. He's also one superhero, by the way. I forgot about... Yeah, he's near the unit. I forgot to mention. We were talking about superhero units. This guy right here. So, huge. And then, why is this guy? Why is he #1 for this fight, I think? Again, he's still Rainbow Orb changing. He's got the guaranteed additionals, which you can very easily transform against Int BULMA. No reason not to transform against Int BULMA. Unless you just want a defensive stack for some reason, but or hold off on the fusion to maybe save the heal, I guess. But for the most part, you probably want to just transform, I feel. But what's the big deal? Why is he #1, in my opinion, for this fight? Target skill. He can save your ass against STR BULMA. Again, when there's units, they're like, hey, how many units can deal with a 6 million super? This guy. This guy can. You rock double of him. You got 2 turns of active skills plus Beast Gohans potentially. And actually there's another unit who's on this leader skill as well. We haven't got to, but you can nuke BULMA with like all the Gogeta actives and like the rest of the strength of movie heroes or like superhero or whatever. Gogeta, with his guaranteed additional supers and the Rainbow Orb change for the beginning, his target skill for the end of the fight, I think Blue Gogeta is probably #1 for this fight in particular. Which is a big deal. Blue Gogeta is great. We love Blue Gogeta here. Next unit is Beast. Why is Beast good for this? Great leader skill for the fight. Huge. Superhero, we just talked about how many good superhero units there are. Evolution Blue Vegeta himself, Blue Gogeta, Blue Kaioken, and Evolution Blue. Tech UI you could bring, AGL UI, the Gammas again. The list is endless. Bond Master Disciple, like I think Vados is actually a great shout for this. DBS Broly on Miraculous Awakening as well. But yeah, why is Beast so good for this? I will tell you. It's not because he guards, it's not because of his big reduction at the start of the fight. Okay, part of it is, where is it? Right here. Guaranteed additional super and gives all allies 3 ki when receiving an attack. If he gets hit first, which there's a good chance he will, but there are also times where that doesn't happen. But as long as he gets hit in the turn, he gives 3 ki back to the rotation. Remember, ki lowered by 9. So getting 3 ki back, pretty big deal. And remember, Beast will get a guaranteed additional super attack. So that's 2 supers for Beast. Pretty good. Like right off the bat right there. We're big fans of that here. Thank you, Beast. But what's the other big part of him? Is right down here. His active. The Beast active, again, is a protector mechanic, just like Blue Gogeta's. It's easier to get. Also, Beast's full passive, like this part right here, which sometimes you actually might not see in some other fights, this is one you will. He's going to get hit like 8 times, or super 5 times. He will do that by the end of the fight, for sure. Again, I actually have Beast's video recorded against BULMA already. Like, that one is done. And Beast, as you'd expect, is a god. Beast is the other unit that can actually straight up live BULMA Super. He can do it. Now, there's also times where Beast is going to get one-shot by BULMA 6 million super. Like, it's happened. It will happen. He will die. But, yeah. He can actually survive as well. So, you know, maybe have support around, but Beast can live. But, yeah. Beast with that target skill can buy you time. And again, you're going to have other mechanics like the Revive, like Gogeta's Taunt as well. That's why I think Gogeta is like above Beast in this scenario, because Beast can actually die even with his active up, while Gogeta literally can't. So, plus Gogeta is offering the Rainbow Orb changing and the guaranteed additional supers and stuff. So, he's offering more than Beast, but Beast is still very good for this fight, for sure. Okay, the next unit is DBS Broly. Great leader skill for this fight, huge. Transformation boost to full power. We just talked about Omega Shenron. We talked about Blue Gogeta. Beast Gohan is on this leader skill as well. Evolution Blue Vegeta is on this leader skill. Nearly every good unit in the entire game is actually on this leader skill. Like, DBS Broly has such an insane leader skill. But what makes him so good other than his great leader skill? Well, he's AGL to start, which, as we know, is pretty good if you're AGL right now. But is there anything else that makes him so great? Yes. This. You see that? Guaranteed additional super. Do you see this? Guaranteed additional super. See this? Guaranteed additional super. See this? There's a high chance to be a super. Broly just has guaranteed additional supers, so he will just not fail you. Broly will very easily get you through the end of BULMA phase by himself. Like, no effort to him, no difficulties. And then this guy is what we call a closer, right here. This guy right here. Now, he cannot go slot 1 against BULMA, STR BULMA. He can't do it. Maybe turn 1 he could. Maybe. But with dupes. Mine is only 1 dupe, so I wouldn't trust him. But maybe a rainbowed one could. Stand in front of a 4 million super and live. Pre-super, because remember he has that extra reduction. So maybe he could do it. But on a second turn, no way. 0 chance. What makes him so good? He will like torch BULMA. Like, this is a unit, this is a guy right here who if you can get to him attacking, like over half of BULMA's like 180 million. Yeah, over 180 million of her HP is just gone. Over half of it. Instantly eviscerated. Disappears off the face of the earth. It's gone. Yeah, Broly is that kind of guy. Alright? He's got this shit. He's got that shit on lock. Broly is very good for this. He puts in work. Plus crit chance, by the way. Which, you know, big deal. We like Broly here. For sure. And he's not really a restricted unit other than he's a domain character. So, As long as he is your domain character, you're good to go. Okay, next unit, Cellmax. Cellmax is great for this fight as well. Great for a few reasons too. Now, Cellmax is probably the most restricted unit on this entire list, so you have to be a little bit more careful with Cellmax's team building, because Cellmax is not a Rebel Orb Changer. He's not. He doesn't do that. But what he does do is he has additional supers built in. Now, they are high chances, right? They are. So you could get unlucky. But he can launch a bunch of supers. He also does debuff on his 18 key, by the way. He does do that, which is helpful. But the reason Cellmax is so great is... Where is it? It's right here. The Scream Explosion. This is probably the best active skill in the game for Bulma. Probably. Even better than Blue Gogeta's. Now, Blue Gogeta overall offers more than Cellmax does, but I think Cellmax is the best active skill. The reason why is this. 999% defense. Cellmax's defense, I recently got Cellmax with coins. Cellmax has, even at 55%, no big web bosses, 9 million defense, which means even fully juiced up Bulma can't actually damage Cellmax with his active. He can't do it. He simply can't do it. So what does that mean? It means Bulma's going to super him. He's going to, and then Cellmax is going to drop the active skill, huge damage. He's going to drop this huge super attack with the debuff, and he's going to get a guaranteed additional when he gets supered by Bulma. And yeah, Cellmax is a closer as well. Cellmax just does so much damage. He can basically win the fight. And he's a super boss unit, which means, and a movie boss unit, which means you could rock like Tech Broly's team or like Int Broly's team, and you pop Cellmax's active skill, and then you have DBS Broly sitting in slot 2, and Cellmax and Broly just kill Bulma in like one turn. Like, very easily they could do that. 100%. I have zero doubt in my mind that they could do that. They are crazy. So that's why Cellmax is so good. Next is Int Broly. Why is Int Broly so good for this fight? Few reasons. This. High chance to stun right here, and 70% chance to stun right here. If Int Broly gets this off, you win. It's a 2-turn stun, 70% chance to do it. Huge. Okay, what else makes him so good? The domain you can just save. You don't have to do it at the start of the fight. Because why? Because you can instantly pop it as long as you build full uncontrollable power. But why would you pop it against AGL Bulma? Zero need to do that. Zero need to do it against Int Bulma either. No reason to really do it here either, because he's got type advantage. The only time you really have to do it is if you're back here. Now, could this guy with his revive, like if he gets his revived and multiplicative defense, which is right here, if he gets this and his guard, could he tank Bulma Super? Maybe he could. I don't know the answer to that. Could he survive? Maybe. I'd have to see footage of it, but I'm unsure if he could. But he's very good. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Broly does not actually have any inbuilt additional. But what he does have is the stun. He leads a great team for the fight. He's got a good domain, which is helpful. Nice support. But it's the revive. It's the revive and the stun. And he leads a great team. That's why Int Broly is on the list. He's very good too. I'll give him his own video in the Bulma fight as well. We'll show off how good Int Broly is. But yeah, he is excellent. Now, the last unit I do want to discuss is Gohan. Gohan here is great for the Bulma fight for a couple of reasons. Reason number 1, this. He has the stun. Reason number 2 is... Where is it? Here, actually. It's right here. Plus 2 key, attack 40% attack up to 200, and defense plus 30% up to 150 with each attack performed. Does anyone notice anything about the key here? It doesn't cap. Because, the attack says, after 5, you're done. Defense says after 5, you're done. Key doesn't. And it's also each attack performed. Which means, at this beginning part of the fight, you get, Gohan just attacks, permanent key. Gohan, I have found very often, even when Bulma is lowering his key by 9, he is living at 24 ki, or very close to it. Very close. But he has a 70% chance to get an additional super at 18 ki. He's a guaranteed additional super at 24 ki. That is huge. Like, him giving the additional supers and him with his good stun chance as well. Just hugely effective stuff right here from Gohan. Now, what Gohan's also very good at is just doing this right here. My boy just says, hey, what if I go into my standby? Now, you have to build a full super class, but, you know, that's fine. And remember, he's on Angel Super Saiyan 3's leader skill. He's on Physical Gogeta's leader skill, Carnival Gogeta. So, he's on a bunch of relevant teams right now. And you get these charges right here. You collect these Dragon Balls, which should be very easy if you're bringing a bunch of Rainbow Orb changes, by the way. And you just nuke Bulma. You just fire this off, and you're firing like a rainbowed like Gohan I've seen drop like 140 million of Bulma's like 180 million HP. Like, this guy could almost one-shot Bulma in his standby with enough charges. It is crazy. I find him super effective. I'm pretty sure in my winning run against Bulma, I'm pretty sure he was on the team. Now, mine's only 55%, so he's not able to one-shot Bulma like that, but he still did exceptionally well. Gohan is great. Gohan is definitely one of the best units in the game for this fight as well. So, with that said, there are all the units I think are relevant and very good in the Bulma fight. So, let me know what you guys think of the Bulma fight. Let me know if you guys are having trouble. Let me know if this helped. Breaking this fight down, breaking down some units I think are very good in here. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I actually don't mind recording them. It's just, you know, I was procrastinating this one for a long time because I think this video is like 50 minutes long or something right now. I don't have the timer in front of me, but I think it's about 50 minutes long. So let me know what you guys think of this style of video. If you want me to do more, I will. But thank you for watching. Good luck in the Bulma fight. I'll probably do another guide for Goku and Frieza when that happens. But let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later.